The third hearing for this case was set down on the 19th of April 2023. At 9 a.m, it was scheduled to be heard at the Auckland High Court. Now, I'm usually a on-time person. Very rarely I'm late to any appointment unless something important has come quite unexpectedly. That's the kind of person I am. I'm very punctual. I'm always on time, and you can count on me being there or be ready for any important things or meetings or anything that I'm committed to. I'm always on time. So at 8:10 a.m. I arrived at the Auckland High Court, and I waited outside until the doors opened, till the security doors were open. Around about, I think, between 8:30 to 8:40 a.m. I go in through the security inspection. Then I had to wait around until 9 o'clock for the actual High Court counter to open. Now, before the actual hearing day, common sense is, when you want to be prepared and ready, you want to try and cut down any extra stress before the actual hearing. But the problem that I've been having, being cloned to the opposition, or clinged or twinned to the opposition, they've literally twinned me with people, and they do have access to everything I'm doing at home, like I'm in a prison, but they're monitoring me, meaning that they get the advance of whatever happens in between to set up stuff or what's going on in between my traveling to different destinations. So what actually happened, common sense, and that I would ask the case officer of the case to email me of the courtroom, because I wanted to just go straight there, because I knew it was 9 a.m. and apparently it was still a list court. So list court, you don't know how many cases are on a list court day, but I always like to be early anyway and sit outside the courtroom before it actually opens. The court officer did not respond to any of my emails in regards to the courtroom. So, I thought, okay, I'll go there, because he didn't respond. He sent out an email like the day before, but he didn't put the courtroom. So I thought, okay, I'll go there, and I'll go and go to the counter and find out what's the courtroom, or even the list. I didn't bother looking at the list outside the counter, because I know that they're keeping my information private from the public, and they haven't been putting my court case up on the list court. So I had no choice, but I had to wait until 9 a.m. So I go into the 9 a.m. sharp, the door opens, I go in, and I asked the young girl at the counter if she could look up and find out what courtroom my case is at. She said, you have to look on the list. And she shoved the list to me and said, hey, you got to look here. I looked through it quite quickly, because I was in a rush, because I knew I had to get to court. And I didn't see my name. I knew it wouldn't be there. And I didn't see anything indicating my name or the case where it's going to be. So I said to her, well, it's not there. And eventually, and I said, I have some documents here. Can you please give this to the judge for the hearing today? And she says, oh, no, you've got to give that to the court taker or the registrar in court, which was fine, because you can do that. So after me not being able to find the name of the party on the list that she shoved me to quickly have a look at, she looked into the computer and told me courtroom 4. So with that, I immediately left and rushed off to court. I go into court and the court registrar said that they'd already called my matter and that the judge had adjourned it. I couldn't believe my ears because I was like, maybe between 9:05, 9:10, apparently the councils turned up by VMR. I was absolutely upset, and she said that the judge would send out a minute. I was totally upset because I just felt that there was just a deliberate, intentional setup, and the reason why is because on my way to the High Court, the opposition are making subtle death threats in my path. That's how serious and how dangerous it is. And that's the kind of system that I've been subject to, cloned or cling to. And this court case and the experiment that the government's done to me and other people, they've actually treated me like I am a nobody. Evidence will show that the in-between, they've actually used me for Ponzi scam, and they've literally are stealing my intellectual property or the trade secrets of our court case. You know, everything that I've done has been monetary value, and I have, you know, my whole case historically, it's been sabotaged. But leading up to this case, I did let the judge know, this new judge, it's a new judge again. While I was in the courtroom, I said to the registrar, I was like just out, you know, I've been here since 8:30ish, well 8:10 to be exact, and I got evidence to prove that. And I mean, my case is so important to me, why wouldn't I not be on time? But the public threats are serious. They are not something to take lightly. They're using their government or their occupation jobs and vehicles, and obviously they're still making threats because I have chosen to expose my court case because I have not given anyone permission what they have done to me. It is a very serious category 4 case. However, I mean, I couldn't even believe the case was like that quickly finished. The court registrar said she called it out on a speaker. I didn't hear anything, but anyway, that's what happened, and I was absolutely upset. So to clarify that, you know, I'm an on-time person. I believe that the setup was intentional to sabotage and to, you know, create evidence. And why I say that, on my way home, the abuse continued. You know, it's a public game. It's some kind of illegal public game that is absolutely illegal, and cowardice is the word. But why I say it's a setup, because on my way home, they were laughing like as if it was funny, like they knew it was going to happen. So that is the court system today. To this day, I don't understand why they are doing what they're doing, other than they find me a threat. They do not want me to legally complete my case. As far as the other companies, corporate companies, both Ministry of Health and CityMed actually blames the Ministry of Justice. PSA blames the Ministry of Justice too. And so PSA has submitted evidence with our documentations, which I will, you know, respond to according to the laws. And they are blaming the Ministry of Justice. I've heard from the Ministry of Justice. Then I've got the New Zealand Police and IPCA. I had signature posted. This is the reason why I prefer to do things personally, because of the middleman sabotage. When you know you're targeted, these are all the things that I have gone through. But I decided to use New Zealand Post and signature post my documents to New Zealand Police, to IPCA, and to the Ministry of Justice. I took photos of the parcels. I double check. I'm honest to God, I'm so efficient. Very rarely, yeah, I do make the odd mistakes. I'm not perfect, but at this time, I won't, I will not say that I made a mistake other than the case has been sabotaged. I used the New Zealand Post, my local New Zealand Post, and I took photos of everything. It was couriered, paid for it to be couriered, and somebody to actually sign it. I know with the IPCA, I actually attentioned the post to a name that I was given over the phone to attention it to, which was a judge. New Zealand Police, I sent it to the Auckland Central office. I haven't heard from them, and I haven't heard from IPCA, but I have heard from the Ministry of Justice. Now, the Ministry of Justice lawyers said that their client had told them that they had received the New Zealand Police statement of claim instead of their one. So I asked them to forward me the evidence. I haven't heard from IPCA, but the tracking system, they have a tracking system that where you can actually ring and track. New Zealand Post has a specific number where they will confirm that it's been handed over or signed, because I got each documents to be signed over. So at this stage I have to follow up. I tried to follow up New Zealand Police, but they've blocked my phone. Any phone calls I make, then put me on hold for nearly 2 hours. But that's how it's been with this project with me, that what everyone's done. They've literally isolated me, exiled me, and then somebody else has full control of what's going on. And they obviously have access to everything I'm doing in my home, because they're indirectly psychologically and mentally abusing me, with inciting on TV. So what's actually happened is, the usual procedure, our court procedure in New Zealand, is that when the parties actually do respond, the parties, the case officer is supposed to set a hearing for it to go before a judge. So obviously my workload is a bit overwhelming at the moment. I've got lots of things to do. So I wasn't happy with what the actual hearing that happened on Wednesday, 19th of April, because I knew I was being sabotaged and I knew I was set up. But somehow the opposition, is linked to everything that I'm doing, and it's been really dangerous and unsafe. But it is a system where I am being secretly exploited, meaning even your families and your friends could be in the same danger, being secretly exploited. This whole project, starting from when I was working from my employer, did start from secret privacy breaches that just got way out of hand. But another piece of information before I finish this clip is I did notify the judge and the courts, because it is my case. And I'm not happy with the way things are going, because the councils and the courts have treated me like I'm the defendant. And our laws here in New Zealand, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to make a defendant a victim in a hearing without the consent of all the parties. But what has actually happened secretly is that the courts and the councils have made me the victim. Have made me the defendant and their defendant the victim. Hence is why they're inciting, because they're trying to save each other's jobs and keep me suppressed. But they're not only just keeping me suppressed, they're actually, you know, very busy trying to abuse me to the point where I will kill myself. It's that I'm being personally victimized. So what's actually happened is I did send some emails to the judge and the counsel for the Ministry of Health. The evidence that I have submitted clearly shows that the Ministry of Health has broken the law, and that the councils have committed perjury. That's including the counsel for City Med, which is Hannah Stewart. You know, anything that you submit to the court that is not true, it is felony. The intentional blockout is because I'm not sure how it works, but it is it's very bad. Like, it's very, very serious. You know, being exploited, anyone can just execute you at any time. And the whole idea of this project that they've done on me is, just going by the evidence, they had no intention, like there was nothing good that was going to come out of that project or what they did to me while I was working. The whole intent was to actually eliminate me in the end. Like, the substitute has substitute me. And that's who they're actually voting for. The case has actually been adjourned again.